Thank you, Madam Grand Poobah, fellow Toastmasters, honored guests. In 1987, I was transferred by the Navy from Northern Virginia to upstate New York. And you're probably wondering, well, there's not a big body of water up there. But in a little town called Ballston Spa, about half an hour north of Albany, the Navy has a training facility, and that's one of the few places that anyone who's going to be an operator on a submarine or an aircraft carrier, nuclear powered, has to go and be trained. And we were doing a major refueling overhaul on one of those planes. And so I showed up there as part of the government representative's office, and I quickly figured out I really needed to keep good tabs on what was going on. Because we had this contractor called General Dynamics that tended to run amok. And so fortunately we had a prime contractor, it was General Electric at the time, and there was a gentleman there, his name was Paul, really good guy, and I would be in his office frequently, 2, 3, 4 times a week. Sometimes these were formally scheduled meetings, sometimes they were just walk-ins, hey, what's going on, what's up? Well, Paul had a coffee cup. Sat on his desk, and it was there, to some degree it just became invisible, almost unnoticeable. But it was one of those gag gift coffee cups that somebody had given him for his birthday. I don't think he ever drank coffee out of it. And it had on it a poem that some wise philosopher poet, who was probably employed by American Greetings or Hallmark, wrote, and went like this. Yesterday is a memory. Tomorrow is a dream. Today is a problem. Now, in the interest of full disclosure, the poet had not used the word problem. He used a more common vernacular word that's used a lot by dog breeders. It starts with B and ends with itch. So over the course of 5 years in that job, seeing that coffee cup several times every day, it kind of made an impression on me. And I knew it was sort of a joke, because I like jokes, so that may be part of the reason. But I thought about it often after that. It's like, why is today such a problem? I mean, I understand today is the day that I have to get up. And what a challenge that can be sometimes. You know, I read a book by a Navy SEAL recently. He has 3 alarm clocks. One he plugs in, it's electric. One's battery powered. And the third one's wind up. Now, you want to talk about somebody who's got belt, suspenders, and another set of suspenders, that is commitment to getting up on time. But getting up in the morning can be challenging. And then, once we get up and we get ready, then usually we have to commute. Dealing with traffic, dealing with our car problems, dealing with weather, all these issues. And then once you get where you're going and you get to the task at hand, figuring out what's your priorities, what's first, second, third, what's the most important thing for me to do today? Today, in some respects, is a problem. But on the other hand, there are other ways to look at today. And recently I read another, I guess you could call it a poem, by a philosopher poet. She signed her name to hers. You've probably heard of her, Mother Teresa. Here's what Mother Teresa said. Mother Teresa said, yesterday is past. Tomorrow, not yet here. We have only today. Let us begin. Let us begin. And I thought, you know, that is so clear. Gets right down to the real basics of life. Let us begin. It reminds me of some of those other famous 3-word phrases. we've heard, you know, do it now, just do it, let us begin. So after 32 years of thinking about that coffee cup and hearing those ideas over and over again and thinking about it, it comes down to this, ladies and gentlemen. Let us begin. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. We can't change what happened yesterday. Just do it. Let us begin. So I'm going to leave you with one other quote. This was written by a much less famous person who lives in Wimberley, Texas. Just an old guy who's kind of thought about time and life for a while. He said, "You don't have to do everything. Just do something." Madam Toastmaster.